What's up, folks? Good here. Like I mentioned in my last video, I was anticipating a local comic shop sale. You know, they were releasing some back stock, some long boxes that were untouched. It was fruitful. I will say that. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little bit irritated, right? So it was advertised, you know, well, 50% back issues, 25% wall books, etc., etc. From this time to this time. Was looking forward to it all week, you know, save some money up, put some money to the side. And I'm about to cause some damage, you know. Untouched boxes. So I get there, okay, so the time was 11 o'clock to whenever. Wake up in the morning, you know, I was like, all right, wash my hair, you know, put on some smell good, you know, get ready, doing some finger exercises. And I was gonna shoot this cool little intro, you know, when I got there, leading up to it. I got there at 10:45, excited. Pulled up to the pocket slot. Looked up. The light blinking, open, open, open. And I looked down. I'm like, it's 10:45. What's it doing open? So a sense of urgency came over me. I was like, shh. You know, bump the intro. Let's go. I get in there, and there's two guys. These untouched boxes were no longer untouched. I'm talking about, they probably had a stack. I don't know, this is my head, right? I got a big ass head, right? About this big, 4. Heart sank. Anger came through, right? Ain't nothing I could do about it then, so I jumped in. I asked him, I was like, man, what time did y'all get here? I was like, got here at 10:30. I was like, huh. All right. Start digging. And you can't help to look at what they have because it kind of helps you understand what kind of collector they are. You know, one of them was a runs collector. I mean, I'm not even gonna say the books. What I will say is that the shop didn't look into the boxes because although they had the 50%, 25%, the untouched boxes were 50 cents a book. Or, how was it? It was 50 cents a book, $1 for 5. I mean, $1 for 5 books, man. It hurt so much. Like, when I saw those 4 stacks, all I wanted to do was like, bro, can I just look? Like, you know, what's it called? Not a guilty pleasure. But when you know it's going to cause you pain, but you still got to look. But I didn't. I do know one of the guys pulled out the whole run of Venom Carnage. That one kind of hurt. On top of the stack of another one was that Batman Adventures Winter Special. I think that's the Winter Special, the one with Mr. Freeze on it. I've been looking for that book. 50 cents or $5 for $1. Like, I was like, so frustrated, and there's nothing I could do, so I just jumped right in, right? I mean, I'm happy with what I got, don't get me wrong. I'll show you at the end part of the video that I did get 2 wall books. Quite pleased at it. But And then I did a cardinal sin. I'll get to that book when I get to that book. But first, let me hit you off with the new comic book day book. This shop really doesn't do variants, at least now. But if you look at their long boxes and you know some of the prior videos, they must have did it and then they realized that variants wasn't cool, so they stopped doing those incentives and got whatever they wanted or whatever orders came in through those people. But right, so what I got was X-Men Red #7. Let me see which way is better. Let's go this way, right? There's lights. I don't know, water bottle. Right, Honey Badger, Gabby. So had to grab that one up. This next book, I was quite pleased. It finishes off my Adam Hughes Catwoman run. Every time I go into the Catwoman long boxes or any short or long box that I go through, it's never there. It's usually in the other boxes, you know, $5, $10, and I'm not willing to pay that. But I actually wish I had this like 2 weeks ago, but I was able to manage to get Catwoman 45, yeah, 45, Adam Hughes, Batman, and Catwoman. Man, it took me years to complete that. Finally. This next book, so the variant boxes that they normally have out during day-to-day operations, they actually put it in the that 50 cent or $5 for $1, right? But the two guys that were there before me happened to read it before I got there. Don't ask me why I picked up this book. It was probably out of frustration. But I got First Wave 3 of 6, Lee Bermejo. So that's pretty cool. What is this? Wonder Woman #9, Volume 2. When old girl turns into the cheetah. It's pretty cool. Another, I guess, frustrating book because I have no idea why I picked this book up. Like, this thing is not even in my radar. This thing is so far beyond that I have no idea. Probably because, I don't know. So I picked up Firestorm, the Nuclear Man, Freezer Burn #25 from 2006. Honestly, no clue. It was probably one of those books where I was like, throw it in there. Or just to match up, you know, the $5 for $1 type deal. Jashir, this is for you, right? Animanium Agenda, Hunt for Wolverine #1. It's a variant. I'm not sure who did it. And I actually try to, no clue. Here goes the signature right there. No. All right. So there's a con that's coming up this weekend. I'm actually quite looking forward to it. Never been to this con. It's not Mondo Con. I always call it something else, you know. Dragon Con. That's where I'm going, right? We're going to Dragon Con. And I'm praying and hoping to get a sketch, but you know, look, this is one of those books that was inside the variant long box that was normally out there, but you know, they marked it down for 50 cents, so, or $5 for $1. This next book, okay, so Wolverine #80. Remember when Logan movie came out and everybody was hunting for this book, right? You talking about speculators, completists, you know. So this is, man, we're reaching. This is X-23 in the test tube. I never got this book because this, for some reason, turned into like a $20 to $30 to $40 book. Found it for 50 cents. So I was curious, and nobody really showed it when they were doing their video, so I'm going to show it. what the whole hype about this damn book was. Because I was curious, you know. I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe, you know, there's a cool story. Maybe, you know, a couple of panels in there, you know, telling them how it all happened. Please. Oh, so, right, Wolverine 80, there's an insert in here. I didn't know there was an insert. So make sure that you have the insert if you choose to go after this book for you completers, folks. But look, this is what everybody went hyped for. This damn thing, this little thing, turned this book into like a $20 to $50 book. This little thing. I'll read the word bubbles for you, all right? In my search for animanium, I uncovered entire ingots in a federal storage depot of recently declassified items. Mixed in with the ingots were medical records and tissue samples, pieces of me. It seems animanium can be bonded to human bone if a rare mutant gene is present in the donee. The mutagen actually causes a molecular change in the metal, transforming it into what can only be called adamantium beta. I mean, I'm not the one to judge. I mean, if you want to pay $20 to $50 for this, by all means, drop it like it's hot, all right? And no lie, I was excited to grab it. You know, I'm not one to know numbers, you know, grab, somebody says, hey, make sure you grab Wolverine 216 or something like that. I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is. You're gonna have to tell me the cover, because I'm a cover guy out. But when I saw this cover, I knew immediately what it was, and I was stoked until I cracked that damn thing open. And I was like, really? To each his own. Okay, this next book, right? You gotta understand, I was frustrated, you know. My frustration kind of came out. You know, typically when you know, you have courtesy, right? When somebody's in a box, you really don't touch that box, right? Until that person is done. You go into another box. And I did a long box cardinal sin, right? Searching, fingering these boxes. And I did a cardinal sin. Out of frustration. But this guy, you know, he owned this box. It was him. He grabbed a stack just so it could make it easier so he could look through. And I'm next to the box, this other stack. And man, what was in that? There were some books that was just like, I know why, this is like 50 cents or whatever. But then I look over, he grabbed that stack, both hands were freed. I looked over and I saw a book. Grabbed that sumbitch so quick. And then as soon as I did that, I was like, yo, you are so dirty. That was so dirty. But then the other side of me was like, he has about 50 books, like 200 books already. He could spare one. And I don't see this book, actually, I think this is the first time I actually seen it in the wild, let alone in a 50-cent box. So I smashed that thing up so quick. Oh man, I'm going to hell. But so what did I pick up? It's really not that expensive. It's just me being cheap and trying to find it out in the wild. But JSA classified #1, the second print, correct? Yeah, the second print Adam Hughes sketch variant. Yeah, it was, look, it was like this, right? All right, let's say the box is right there. I'm facing it. I did one of these, I was like, what? Pop that thing out and put it right in my stack. And like the guy kind of like stopped what he was doing and looked. I just kept on going. I was like, not today, Cletus, not today. Yeah, it was dirty, I know, my bad. But I was already frustrated. All right, next book. I will always pick this book up. I think it's just a badass cover. I guess you could say one of the original Venomized, not a variant. But the New Avengers number 35, just a nice little Venom, Wolverine Venom type deal, hybrid going on. I actually got quite a few copies of these, and I've never read it, so I'll probably should read it to find out what's going on. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I guess with the Wolverine theme, again, another book that I always pick up. I just think it's smooth as hell. What number is that? Number Wolverine 88, just nice. Adam Kubert, Deadpool, Wolverine. Now, if you want to, you could probably write down in the comments, but is this the first time they meet, they fight? I know they fought in Wolverine Origins, which, like, this predates that by damn near 20 years. But, yeah, pretty smooth. Next one is Action Comics 835. All right, I guess you could say it's the first live one in continuity, maybe, and not in the Superman Adventures comics, but you know, whatever continuity this is. So pretty cool. They did have some variants there. I'm rather happy that it was left alone. So they had New Avengers or Dark Avengers number 5, just a nice little Wolverine and Docking cover. This one, right, in the variant box, last week this was $20. This was a $20 book. Saturday, it was a 50-cent book. And there's really nothing significant behind it. At least not that I know of. If you know something, then, you know, write it down, let everybody else know. But Siege, Spider-Man number 1. I think it's like a, don't quote me, but a Paulo Rivera or Pablo or something like that. But it's a nice little Spider-Man Venom cover. Again, they had this thing last week for 20 bucks. Saturday they had it for 50 cents. And there's so many more variants that I wanted, but by the time I got there, it was all gone. Right? Next 2 books are the wall books. One of this book I'm about to show, it's been there and I've been off and on. The price it's about right, but I wanted it just a tad bit cheaper. And then, so I picked up, and with that 25%, it became what I wanted. Let me take it out of this. All right, so it's John Byrne's X-Men number 21. Second appearance of Hellboy, I guess first appearance in color. I've been trying to eyeball this for a while now. I see it a lot on eBay, but I'd rather find it out in the wild. And it's definitely cheaper than eBay. It has its issues, but for what I got it for, it was definitely worth the hunt. And then this next book, I would probably, I think I graded it at maybe a 4.0. Yeah, probably a 4.0. So it definitely needs a press. I don't know if the press can fix the spine at all, but I was able to get, man, this looks good. That martial art is making this book look sexy. It's really not. I promise you it's really not. Right? So, John Size X-Men number 1. What is this? second full appearance of Wolverine. What is it, fourth overall, and then first appearance of everybody else, right? Pretty well known book. They actually brought this out in the middle of me paying, right? I grabbed my books and I was middle of me paying, and they were bringing out a short box of what they call wall books. And I guess every time somebody buys a book, you know, they replace it with one of the books in there. And the next book in line was this one. So I saw what they're taking out, and before it got to the wall, you know, as how much they were going to put it for. And I was like, what did I say? I said something like, is that with the 25% or without the 25%? They're like, that's without the 25%. So I was like, sold. So yeah, Gen Size X-Men #1. So I recycle my bags. Look at this. This thing has a Mandarin appearance, so I don't know what book I recycled. It definitely needs a press. It definitely has its issues. I mean, there's really not much to say that damn near Earth has said already. You know, one thing that I've learned, or more so, was, especially with this book and ASM 129, is centering, right? Now, a book is a book, and it fits. I mean, if this thing is off-centered and it's like for $5, I'm not gonna kick it out of bed. I'm picking that son of a bitch up, right? But if you're paying the higher premiums, you know, there's certain things that you want to look forward to. And, you know, there's a lot of people that talk about centering in the community. Dr. Von Tilla, ETA Nick, Reaper Tate, right? A whole bunch more. And that's one of the things that actually made me, that's one of the requirements for this book. While it might not be 100% centered, it is pretty damn close, you know. I definitely wanted to see all the claws. There's definitely a gap between the claws and the bottom, and from the top right to the top left, you know. I wanted it to be somewhat even, if not 100% balanced all the way through. So, you know, when I saw that in this book, I was like, yeah, I'll take it. So I did. I took it. Really happy. Man, this thing looks good. I mean, it is really not that nice looking, but damn. I wish my book looked like that book. But yeah, so, it was fun. It was irritating, but it was fun. All right? It's always fun to go look through some long boxes. I just wish there was a fair chance across the board. Because I know there were some other books in there that that part would have gotten if it wasn't for those two. But that's my little haul. Hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know if I'll do a haul after this con because I'm not really there to chase books, and to be quite honest with you, I don't know if they're going to have books there. But I am going for signatures. I'm bringing the Batman book. George Perez is going to be there. That's one dude that I'm definitely going to get a signature from. Thanks, Future Seer. Right? Anyways, thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm out for 24 minutes.